The mentor I've had who's been very positive in my life is Christian Hui. So Christian Hui, I met him at my social work internship for George Brown College. So the story behind that is, after I got diagnosed with HIV, obviously I was devastated and I was going through a lot of depression, and I just felt like my whole life had changed. So at that time I decided I need to do something that makes me have hope for the future, that I can do something different with my life, and that I can look forward to something. So I went back to school for social work at George Brown College, and for my practicum I decided, you know what, let's see if I can work with an HIV organization. And I was kind of plopped, I searched for different places to work at, and I got kind of plopped into Asian Community Aid Services, who I still work for today, and they've been amazing for me. Just having that sense of community as a person with HIV, also as an Asian person, because I think for a really long time, I think in Canada I'd often felt very isolated, because I never found a place where I completely fit in. Ever. I'd always felt more at home outside of Canada, like in Jamaica and Kenya and Gambia, all the different places I've been. But here in Canada, I still hadn't found a place of belonging. And ACAS is that place, because there are people with HIV there, Asian folks, and just having that sense of community has really helped me. But on top of that, having mentors in that community. And probably my greatest mentor has been Christian Hui. So he was my supervisor at ACAS at that time, because he was working there. He's HIV positive himself. He's also a harm reduction advocate, because he's experienced addiction in the past. Also, he's an advocate for folks who are living with hepatitis C. And he's just been amazing to me, because I remember going through that whole internship, and I was doing this work in the HIV field. But at the same time, there were points where it was really traumatizing for me, because it was HIV, and I was still, at that point, I think only 2 years into my diagnosis. And so there were points where I would get really traumatized, like for example, there was this one time I was reading through a manual for some sort of training, and they were actually talking about the stages of HIV infection and I think medications, stuff like that. But just listening to all this stuff about the biology about HIV and the medications, it started to make me panic. So I started getting chest pains, and I was getting really scared because it brought back memories. So I had a breakdown and actually ended up crying at the office and just going home. But later I talked to Christian, and he talked about how it's normal, Justin, and I have empathy for you because I've been through the same thing. So he's really helped me with that. And then he also introduced me to many more members of the community who are like me, Asian, HIV positive, and really facilitated me in doing workshops with people from my community, and talking to them, getting their stories even as a photographer, and he's always been there, and when you have someone on your side who's been through the same things you've been, and they're kind of there holding your hand and leading you through and helping you navigate this whole system, it's affirming, and it's important. Also, he's gay too, so it's so we've been able to relate on so many of these issues together. And every time I've had an issue with my own identity as an HIV positive person, or dealing with stigma and ideas for activism, he always gives me that time to talk to him and give me suggestions, and he's always there, so I love him a lot. He's really been someone who's just made my life a lot better.